Hey Plateheads, welcome to Schvitz'n with Norm. That show title, that's a Yiddish word. I'm not going to tell you what it means. You can look it up. That's what Wikipedia is for. I'm sitting here with Ku, the Hawaiian god of strength. Look at that squat position. Anyway, on today's show, we're going to do, on every show actually, we're going to just do a lot of different fitness-themed kind of segments, some interviews, some exercise demonstrations, and then a lot of foolishness in between. Today's show, we have an interview with Brian Pothier. I've been riding his coattails for years. He's a local boy that had a pretty nice NHL career for himself. We have my dad demonstrating some exercise stuff, I think. That should be pretty funny, and he did that under duress. We have an interview with Dr. Sherry Dickey. She is going to be talking about concussions and other eye safety issues in athletics. And then we'll just kind of look for some stock footage and just fill in the rest, I guess, if we need more time. Okay, folks, we are at Advanced Eye Centers. We are going to be interviewing Dr. Sherry Dickey, and we're going to be learning a bit about eye safety as applied to athletics, some concussion testing as well, and a whole lot more. And so, giddy up. I'm wearing these for two reasons. I'm all about style, number one, but we're also going to be killing two birds with one stone. I'm going to get a little bit of a checkup as we're doing the interview. Let the games begin.
So as well as making people see clearly during an eye exam, it's also important to utilize perception in patients. And so this test that we do for concussions now ends up being a test that was devised in the 1970s for ocular motor skills for children as they're learning to read. And so it's something that as optometrists we've been testing forever and patients. And the test is called the King-Devick Rapid Number Naming Test. And the way that it works with concussions is that it turns out after you have a mild traumatic brain event, where you have a little bit of injury to the brain after you have a blow to the brain, it ends up doing a little bit of swelling in your axons. And when that happens, your eyes don't move the same, and your perception isn't the same. And the most subtle event is sometimes hard to measure. So with concussions, it turns out that this reading speed, after you have a traumatic brain event, that your reading speed changes. You become less able to read at your normal reading pace after you've had an event happen. So they've been using this study in colleges and some Pee-wee hockey leagues throughout the country. They've been doing data for about 5 to 7 years on this test. And after there's been the smallest, mildest brain event happen, they'll run this test again on a child and find out that they are slower than their normal, their baseline level at reading. So let me show you the test. And what the patient would do is they're given a card right in front of them. They would hold it at their comfortable distance with their best reading glasses on. They would start at the top number and read from left to right, just like they would read anything. They would read from left to right on the top row, then go down to the second row, and so on throughout the card. So it's a time test. The rule is read this as fast as you can without making a mistake. And so the student or the athlete would start at the number 2 and read it as fast as they can through this first page. Yeah. And you time them with your stopwatch.
I've always had to really work really hard for everything I've gotten. I never had someone just say, hey, this kid is the golden child, and rightfully so, because I sucked a lot of times. Like,
Right.
a lot of different situations I wasn't good, I didn't excel. And it took me a little while to figure stuff out. In college, it took me 2 full years to, kind of figure out how to be a good player in that league. And so, my draft years came and went, and I was an undrafted player, which
served you
was
great.
a blessing, because it allowed me to go to a team that actually needed me or wanted me, rather than a drafted team that was just like, all right, this kid's just not going to fit, get rid of him, or bury him in the minors or something. So, and then, I paid my dues in the minors, and I played a full season my first year in the minors, which was a great year.
Right. You won Rookie of the Year in the IHL.
We won a championship. It was phenomenal. It was in Orlando. Come on, play golf every, you play Thursday, Saturday, golf on Sunday, play Tuesday. It was probably the most fun I've ever had playing hockey. You have such a small, tight window of opportunity. When you get called up, that might be the only opportunity for a full year that you get you get a chance to, you got to make a name for yourself, make your you're building your reputation. And if you play well and you make this coach look good or the organization look good for moving you around, they remember that, and they say, okay, when it's time to call someone up again, this kid played good last time, he handled the pressure well, he performed, he played in a number 3 spot as if he'd been a number 3 NHL defenseman for a long time, and they call you back up.
Right.
I remember I got called up in the playoffs, my first, I was still in a 2-way contract, and Jacques Martin, that's my French accent.
No, that was good.
Called me. He liked me, and he called me up, and actually they scratched a couple of regular defensemen. He called me up to play a playoff game, which was an honor for me. I was like, wow, this guy trusts me enough to call me up and scratch one of his regular guys to give me a shot. That's pretty cool. In the NHL, the game is so much faster, and the guys are so much stronger that when you get sent back down to the American League, you really feel the game slow down. So for the first 4 or 5 games back in the American League, you feel like everything is slow motion, and it really, you can see the ice better, and eventually you adjust, and it becomes your reality, so to speak, But for the first few games, it's great because you really feel confident. You just played some NHL games, you played against Mario Lemieux or whoever, and then now you're back and everything slows down a bit for you. It's so difficult. As a young kid coming in, there's no expectation on you. You just here's the coach gives you the keys to the car and says, go ahead, just go have fun, go play. And next thing you know, they're in your head telling you got to play better here, defensive here, back check, back pressure, forward check, be here, do that. And it's just, some kids, they're great pond hockey players, they're great skill guys, but when it comes time to really being a real thoughtful player, where they're being in the right place at the right time and using the skill when they can use the skill, but dumping the puck or chipping the puck when you have to do that too, it's a really tough thing to do, and you have to be a real intelligent player, not just a really skilled player. And to do that over the long run is tough. A lot of kids, a lot of guys can do it 3, 4, 5 times a year, but to kind of maintain, that's the hardest thing. There was a few guys who got injuries, and I'd get an opportunity to be in a power play position or a penalty kill position, which isn't my strong suit, at the National League level. And I'd go out and for 5, 6 games, I was on fire. I was making plays. The next thing you know, you're in your own head, and fatigue catches up with you. And now all of a sudden, they're expecting you to do it, and you have to deliver, and it changes the whole game. So, it really does. The pressure of it weighs on you if you let it.
Hi, we've decided to exploit Q Kids for ratings, and so co-hosting today's show is Riley. And so say Schvitz'n with Norm and Riley.
Schvitz'n with Norm and Riley.
I mean, say you're watching Schvitz'n with Norm and Riley.
Schvitz'n with Norm and Riley.
But just say you're watching.
I'm watching.
They're watching. Okay, that's good enough. Hey, Sesame Street, thank you for not returning any of my calls or emails. Listen, we don't even need your help. We can do our own numeracy segment without you. So that's what we're about to do, and you know what? If you actually saw my SAT scores, I don't even think they did that great of a job anyway.
1 dumbbell snatch. 2 weightlifting straps.
You gotta smell this, it's disgusting.
3 push jerks.
I dropped it. Sorry about that.
4 box jumps.
You hear that landing? No, you did not. That was like a butterfly with sore ankles.
5 medicine balls. 6 Zerker squats.
Say it.
That was only 6.
Oh, that was 7.
Cheater.
Shut up, you don't know how to count.
He's cheating. 8 dumbbells,
Wait, there are only 7.
including you, Norm. 9 plate flips. Wait, how much am I getting paid for this?
I already gave you a t-shirt. 10 protein bars! So Riley, there are 2.2046 pounds to every kilogram. We are using a kilogram bar, that's 20 kilos. We have two 20 kilo plates on that. That's 60 kilograms. How many pounds is that?
132.
That's exactly right. All right, so now we're going to complicate things where we're going to mix some pounds, some kilos. Look at how thin that is. That's a kilo plate. Look, come on, can you believe that? That's a 20 kilo plate. They don't even make these anymore. Okay, so we're all kilos. Now, I'm going to throw 35 pounds. By the way, we're never supposed to mix kilos and pounds, but just for today, to dazzle everyone with your math skills, we're going to. Then I'm going to throw a 10 on each side over that. You paying attention? Now I'm taking this 10 off, misloading. 5. How much weight is on this bar right now?
305.
That's exactly correct. Good job. We want to thank Riley for an awesome co-hosting job today. We actually did some legit schwitzing. Look at this shirt, and we both stink. She's wearing the Go Stink shirt. I actually do stink. And so, do you have anything you want to add to today's show?
No.
Can I tell you a joke before we go? Come on, one joke. Ready? What do you call a monkey that likes to work out a lot? A chimpanzee.